Hello dear viewers, welcome to Geonodes Daily series where we do something cool in geometry nodes in 10 minutes or less. And today we are going to create this awesome effect. We are going to turn this grass into text, or rather turn the text into grass. It's actually a really cool effect that is based on the Fillet curve node that is basically a bevel for splines, but with a little bit of imagination you can get what you see here. So here is what we are going to do today. So first of all, we are going to make that text turn into grass. Then I'm gonna show you how you can tie all the settings together into one control, so we can easily animate everything. And the first step, I'm gonna show you how I created the terrain and how you can prepare things to add puddles of water. So we kind of have like a lot of things to cover. So let's get started. I'm gonna add a text string to curves, and I'm gonna connect it to the output, Shift F. I'm even gonna delete this node, and let's type here grass. Okay, so now we have this grass text. What we want to do with it? Well, let's use that curve fillet curve node. Okay, and plug it here. And once you start to play with the radius, we kind of get something like this, something crazy. It's the beginning of our effect. So let me take a value. I'm gonna put some, I don't know, 2.8 value here, and I'm gonna plug it here. This will be our master control for the entire effect. So let me make this text a little bit bigger, put this one to 0, and I kind of want to separate the letters a little bit, something like this. Let's do like some value here. Now we get this. So let's turn this into even a more jumbled mess, and we are going to achieve this by distorting everything with the noise. But if we simply add the texture, noise texture here, and we try to distort this one. So let's get set position. Okay, and plug it here and plug the noise here. Well, nothing really happens because this node needs two things: more geometry first. So let's do resample curve, resample curve, plug this one here. I'm gonna switch this one to length and make it like 10 times more dense. Now we have more points to play with, but still nothing happens because these nodes also needs to have some geometry to work on. So we have to turn these instances into a geometry, and now we get this. We start to see something. So that's kind of nice. First thing that I want to fix is get in vector math, switch this one to subtract, and make sure that this is on the ground. Okay, so let's say like 0.5. We are going to tweak this later on. So this will be the first part. Now let's add some random height to this flat effect, because the grass, it's not like this. Grass, it's not flat. So let's do in utilities, random value, switch this one to vector, plug this one into the offset, and now if we plug this one to 0 and we play with this value here, this will be our height. So now we start to see something. Let me stop the outline. It's kind of getting close. So let's add a conversion. We are going to take this spline and turn it into a mesh. So let's do a curve to mesh operation, and we want to add a profile. So I'm gonna use a quadrilateral for this. So let's plug this on here, do a fill caps, and this value, it's kind of not what we want. We want something really small. So now we basically get our grass. This is the grass. Now let's tie things up together to have only one control. So we are going to part 2 of this tutorial. I want, first of all, to control this noise texture from here. And this value, I want to control the height. So I'm gonna add a vector, combine XYZ, plug this one here, and I want this value to be controlled by a map range, basically. So let me do that. Let me plug this one here. So now I get this. Yeah, like I said, you can use a map range if you want to have a specific height to this. I'm quite happy with this, but I do want something else, because when we turn this one to 0, something is not working, because I want control for this one. So let me add another vector mask here, change this one to scale, and I want to now control the scale here. Plug this value here. So when the scale is 0, we get the text. When the scale is bigger, we get this patch of grass, basically. That will be the basis of this effect. Now let's add a ground plane. So let's go to mesh, grid. I'm gonna add a grid, and because I'm planning to distort it, I'm gonna add some geometry to it. So let's do a geometry, join geometry, and plug this one here. And now we have a plane. We should see a plane. Yeah, that is not exactly big enough. So let's make like 25 by 25. And I'm gonna change this text to be center and middle. So we have it on the plane. And let me do this like 35 to make it wider. This is going to be our ground. So let's quickly do a distortion to this one. So let's do a set position, plug this one here. I'm gonna add a texture, mask grade texture, and also I want one combine XYZ node. So let's get this one, plug this one here, plug this one into the height, and we get this. Doesn't really look like much, because we kind of have to decrease this considerably. Yeah, something like this is gonna look a lot better. And let's throw a mesh set shade smooth. So mesh set shade smooth. Come on. Yep. Okay, now it looks better. And I want to add a set position node. Plug this one here and duplicate this node, plug it here, because I kind of want to have a plane that will be the water. This one, I'm gonna push it a little bit down. So this is going to be the water, and this is going to be the ground. So I want to add another control here because maybe I need to uh, move the land to synchronize it with something else, like for example the image. So now we have this offset that can move this around like we need it. Okay, but I don't want it here because this is going to distort the texture. I kind of want to change the coordinates of this texture. So let me take the position that is basically the input, default input for this one, and plug it here. So now we can move the noise around, and that will be our offset. So here you go. Now you have one control for everything. This one, that when you put it on 0, you get the text. And because of how we did this, now when we are on 0, the text is somewhere here. We have to push it up to see it. So let's add another set position node, plug it here, and control it again by the same value here. So I'm going to plug this one here, and basically I need to push the text up. Let me activate the outline so we can actually see something. This is the text. It should be on the top, otherwise you cannot see it. So I'm gonna add a map range, and I'm gonna plug this value here and this value here, and I want when this is 0 to lift the text by 1, and when it's something else to be lifted by nothing. So that will control things nicely. I'm gonna do Control Shift D to duplicate this node because I want to do another change. So going to this place where we have this height, I want to control that also. The same way, when this is 0, I want to have some height. When it's another value, I want to make it thinner. So now this text will be thick like this, but the grass is going to be thinner. So here you go. Now we have this also nicely put in place. So that's it for for this tutorial. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to see how I shaded this, make sure to check the link in the comment section of this video, because I'm gonna put that there, the link to the shader video. Until then, have a nice day and happy blending.